So I just got a message. I was just thinking, I started thinking about God's journey, because we have our journey, right? And we are God's, because from what Spirit has taught me, we are sparks of God, all of us. We are the image of God walking on this earth, right? So I was just taking that in as a whole and thinking about how we are so connected and how we are one, right? Then God said, through the eyes of my people, I get a chance to experience my own creation. And I was like, oh, I gotta turn on the camera. I have to tell you guys that, because that is very special. Just think about that for a second. We are all God's, because we are small sparks of God, each and every one of us. And through our eyes, God gets to understand his creation. That's like an artist that makes art, an artist that paints, an artist that makes music, an artist that sculpts. Whatever your art is, whatever it is, through us is how God gets to experience the physical. It's through our lives, God lives through us. Then I started hearing, through you is how I understand what needs to be healed. Through you is how I understand and survey what needs to change. How do I improve my creation? I almost said, how do I improve my creator? Which we are God's creators, because we are God's, right? How do I improve my family? How do I improve my children? That's the energy that I'm getting from that thought and from that channeled message. The only way you know is if you test something. You could create something, but then you have to test it to make sure it works. So we have to be tested. We must all be tested. Through these tests, there's trials that we must go through to figure out how much it takes for us to learn lessons. How long does it take? And what can I do to speed this up? Why for some people does it take so long for them to learn a lesson? What needs to change in order for them to learn the lesson faster? Is it the mindset? Is it the environment? Is it their genetic code? What is it? Because I need to figure it out so I can fix it. And then there's a select few that God begins to crack the codes through, because people like me and you, who begin to understand life and understand the process of it, so you can get to a certain point of understanding to where you don't make the same mistakes continuously and you learn from your mistakes. God begins to learn through those who choose to step up first. God learns the most. Those who choose to continue to ignore the mishaps and just continue to do the same thing over and over again, not improving, not trying to figure out how to improve, their energy is very wasteful, because God can't learn from those people who choose to do nothing and who choose not to learn. God does more with those who choose to listen and who actually willingly want to, not like they have to be forced into it, because then it's not so real. Because usually when people are forced into something, they don't really want to continue to do it because it's forced. But when someone wants to do something on their own, that's when it's real. And nowadays, not everybody has a desire to truly connect spiritually to that spirit of God, that godly energy, because it's not popular. It's not popular. It's not popular, right? So many people are not going to be interested because they don't think that it's cool. It's not cool enough. You know, it's not cool. When little do those people know that think that way, that's the point of this life. To be able to build a connection with the spirit of God that resides in you. God teaches us, right? But we teach God too. And we teach gods around us, those who understand that they have godly energy. We teach each other. We all learn from each other. You got to think about it from an artist's perspective. When you create art, you do it for yourself because your intentions, whatever they are, hopefully they're good, but whatever your intentions are the reason why you create it. You create it because there's something about it that you love. So you do it for you primarily. It could have something aligning to it to where it's going to be helpful to others. However, initially you do it because you love it. You do it for you because it's your art. It comes from your code. It comes from your soul. It comes from your psyche. It comes from your experiences, right? So from an artist's perspective, you never really know how many people are going to like what you create. You're not going to know. You're not going to know until somebody says something and until someone has a reaction or a response to your work. And then you'll start to begin to see who aligns with your energy, with your spirit, with your art, and who does not, right? And so it's the same thing for God. God is saying to me, I created all these things, and I created you to be a creator like me. It's just that not everybody is creating. So what happened to my creation? If I'm a creator and I created other creators to create, to uphold the creation, and then everyone that is here is not creating, what happened? What happened to my creation? Why is it not functioning as intended? There's something wrong. We need to test it. We need to test this problem so we can fix it. That's why we go through these spiritual tests. God is trying to fix us through us. Then we're supposed to be helping each other at the same time. Wow, so cyclical. The reciprocity is real, but it's the realest when those who recognize how powerful reciprocity is and how we all help each other on such an extreme level. We help each other on extreme levels and don't even realize it. And it's really because of the distractions and like thinking one thing that's not, and being confused and having a distortion of the mind and of what's important as opposed to what's not. The beauty of it all is that God knows that there's a way. I truly feel that way because of the intention. It's the intention. God's intention it reminds me of a parent that creates a business and then leaves the business to the child to take over. That's what it reminds me of. because God made creator. Well, God is a creator and made us as creators in God's image. Therefore, taking on, I heard the family heirloom, the family business, the business of spirit, the business of understanding, the business of knowing, the business of learning, the business of growing, and most importantly, the business of creating. God gives us access to that collective consciousness, which is God's mind. Okay. I heard the vampires mimicked God. Because just like in Sinners, when the vampires bite the people them, they get access to their information, their sacred information that nobody else should know. You see that? So, when we tap into collective consciousness, which is God's mind, that's the spirit aspect of ourselves. When we tap into that, we get access to information that is sacred and not everybody knows. You only know when you do that work and you get that work. When you do that work, that's when you get that work. That's what he said. Okay? Does this give you motivation to do the work? I hope so, because there's power here and here. And what I'm saying, all this that I just said to you, this is a very strong message that God just gave. It's not my message. I'm just a messenger. This is not my message. I am just a messenger. I channeled this. It's not from me. I'm just a vessel, you see? I just have to remind you of that. Not from me. I just got signal and I said, oh, turn on the camera. Gotta tell them this. You have it. You have it. You have the ability to go through these things and understand them. You have the ability to choose. Just choose what's best. Even though it's challenging, I know. But that's the whole point. Through our eyes is how God sees the truth of the matter, of what's the matter. What is the matter? What is the matter? The matter is, some people are willing and some people are not. What motivates those who are not willing and what motivates those who are willing? Then they have to be separated. And then there must be an emphasis on those who are willing. And when I say who are willing, I mean do the work, and I mean uphold the family heirloom. I keep on hearing the family heirloom, and that is wholeness, that is righteousness, that is love, that is authenticity, is joy, and it's understanding trauma and why, and how trauma creates a space, no matter if it's good or bad, strong or weak, but it creates a space for us to grow. That's the point. It's about the growth, because the growth brings knowledge. Knowledge brings understanding. Well, knowledge brings wisdom, and then wisdom brings understanding. That's what Spirit is saying to me right now, and to you. So I had to make sure I got this message through to you. This is what we're meant to do. This is why it's so important for us to work together. Because together we crack codes. Together. Ooh, that collective consciousness, there's certain individuals that are supposed to speak from a certain perspective in a certain way. And everyone has their own way. And it is so powerful because we activate each other when we are in that energy like that. We activate each other because we understand each other and we resonate just through the way that we speak and the words that we choose. And just the energy in and of itself is a signature, a signet of the family heirloom. We're made to be different, but we're so alike when we are moving from that God mind, when our energy is directed from source energy in such a way that makes us connected, no matter how different we are. Yeah. I just heard things that have been demonized are really not supposed to, because it's a part of the journey for all of us. So when certain things are demonized and not spoken about in detail thoroughly, then it doesn't give those a chance who are making mistakes and don't know that they are. I heard if I don't see the mistakes and acknowledge them, how can we fix them? That was channeled. If I don't see the mistakes and understand what they are, how can we fix them? Because if we don't acknowledge the mistakes, if we don't acknowledge what's causing the problem, then it is as if it does not exist. Okay. Anything else you want to say? Smoke signal. I heard this is a smoke signal. Smoke signal. This is a smoke signal. What do smoke signals usually do? Give a signal of trouble? I'm not sure. I don't feel like looking it up, but you go look it up. You put it in the comments if you want to, but I don't want to look it up. I want you to go look it up. Be a part of this. Be interactive. Put in the comments, what does a smoke signal represent? And wherever you're from in the world, look within your lineage and see what does a smoke signal mean in your bloodline. What does it mean? Because it can mean different things in different cultures possibly, because it happens often. It have a different spiritual understanding. And just because a certain meaning is different from different groups of people doesn't mean it won't be helpful to you, even if you are from a different culture. You take everything as a lesson and you utilize it because it is helpful. If it's helpful, why not use it? It doesn't matter where it came from exactly. It just matters, how can it improve the situation? That's all. So we'd appreciate if you're interactive in this message and join in, because this is what we're meant to do anyway. We're supposed to join in on a love chain, love chain. I think that's it for this message. I think that's it. Yeah. I think that's it.